Hey, good afternoon and welcome. My name is Sandra and welcome to my channel. For those of you who it's the first time visiting, hi and welcome. I hope you're enjoying your early spring and the forthcoming Easter holidays that are about to approach. Yay, I love spring holiday. Right, this afternoon I would like to do a new foundation wear test. Now, just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I'm a woman of a certain age, so I'm 50 years old. I have got very, very oily skin. Haven't got any fine lines or wrinkles, which is what's probably most normal for people in my age group. So my skin's not dry, it's actually very oily. Skin on my forehead is actually fairly normal now. I mean, I'd literally just call it normal, so it's not too dry, it's not too oily or anything, it's just normal skin. Around my upper face, so my upper cheeks, along my temples, down to about here, very, very, very oily. And down here, I'd say sort of normal again down here. Everywhere on my skin type, I've just got normal skin, so that's not an issue. The other issues I have got blemishes, so I've got hyperpigmentation, which is not so bad now. I mean, you're probably looking at it now if it's the first time you're seeing me. You're probably thinking, oh God, it's not that great. But it's actually not that bad now. My skin has cleared up quite a bit in the last sort of month or so. And I think I put it down to a couple of new products I've introduced to my regime, but I'll talk about that in another video. So when I look for foundations, I tend to look for foundations that promise long-lasting wear and a skin-like finish or a matte finish, soft matte finish, all that sort of thing. I stay away from foundations that say dewy, hydrating, radiant, all those kind of terminologies. I see that in a product, I ain't going anywhere near it. Alright, so the foundation I am trying out today is one that I just happened to see in Amazon. I don't know why. I was looking on Amazon and I was like, oh, okay. And this kind of came up in my searches as a recommended. And I saw it and I thought, oh, okay, this looks interesting because it was really, really cheap. And anything really, really cheap, I'm kind of like, okay, what's wrong with it? Did a little bit of research in it and I saw there was a bit of a hoo-ha about this product about 6 months ago. So they were advertising a lot on Instagram and they were using Nikki tutorials. So, you know, the Dutch big influencer. She's massive. She's got like 15 million followers. And they were using her doing a foundation review of another product. I think it was called Dermacol foundation, but they made out they were using her product, which is really, really shady. You shouldn't have to do that if your product is stand up and good enough as it is. So for that reason, a lot of people have just kind of stayed away from this product. I'm interested in this product again because it's just so cheap and the shade range was actually all right considering how cheap it is. So I keep talking about how cheap it is. If you look on Amazon now, you will see that the product ranges from 48 pence, yeah, 48 pence, with sort of like £2 to £3 delivery, to I think I saw prices of something like £2.50 plus maybe £6 delivery. So I bought it excuse me, I bought the product because there was loads of sellers, absolutely loads of sellers. So I bought the product from, I think I bought it at sort of like 99p plus £1.99 postage and packaging. So I did that. It was clear that the product was coming from China because a lot of people basically said in the reviews that it was a long time in delivery, sort of 2 weeks, 3 weeks in delivery. I looked to see if there was a website for this product and I did find a website. I think it was called, I'll give you the name of the product, that would help. It's called Phoera. So there is a website, I think it's just phoera.com, and again 10 shades. They sell the product on the website, I think it's about £10. I'll put the correct price up above here. So it's about £10 for the product, and I think I've seen prices on other major websites from £10 to £20, but again I don't see the point in paying those kind of prices when you can pay sort of £3 for the product. On the Phoera website, people have moaned about the long shipping. So they've been waiting 2 months, 3 months for the product to arrive. I ordered 2 shades in this product. So I ordered shades 109 and 1110, both sort of deep skin, my sort of shade range shades. I'm hoping they are anyway, I haven't looked yet. And the product came within 2 weeks, so to me that's not bad. I can live with that. I mean, if I'm paying sort of £3 for a product, I don't know, I don't really care how long it takes to come. You know, I'll just sit back and wait. When I ordered the Ordinary, do you remember the Ordinary foundation when there was that big hoo-ha about it about 18 months ago? I think I waited a month for that foundation to arrive. So I wasn't panicking about receiving the product at all. It would come when it came. So in my case, it took about 2 weeks to arrive. What they say about the foundation, let me have a look on the Amazon website and see what they say. So the one I'm looking at, the site I'm looking at, they're selling it for 71 pence at plus £1.99 delivery. And they're saying that if you ordered it today is the 18th of April. If you ordered it today, you'd get it as soon as 24th to the 26th of April. And you can choose more express delivery. But again, don't forget, this product's coming from China. So what they say about the product is that it is 30 millilitres. Oops. It's 30 millilitres Phoera Matte Oil Control Concealer Liquid Foundation. Features up to 24 hours matte without the flat. Air-light texture, matte finish. Hides imperfections for a smooth complexion. Portable size, easy to carry. And that's it. So then they give all this strange weird stuff, this blur below. It says features and details, and it goes into all this weird stuff. Materials, mixed substances, double tick. Foundation, liquid foundations, brush, Rimmel foundation, Olay Total Effects, 7-in-1, anti-aging, day moisten, Estee Lauder double wear foundation, L'Oreal. Basically, it just gives all this other crap, and they're talking about the foundation, talk about the brush, and they just say that they just compare it to all these other similar foundations. So the foundations, I think they're saying they're very similar to, I'll give you the list, they're saying they're very similar to Rimmel foundation, Olay Total Effects 7-in-1 Anti-Aging Day Moist, Estee Lauder Double Wear, L'Oreal Foundation, Max Factor. They're comparing themselves to Revlon Colour Stay, which is one of my favourite foundations. They're comparing themselves to MAC, nothing in particular MAC, they just say MAC. Dermacol, which is the one that Nikki Tutorials was trying, and they claimed it was their foundation she was using. They say Maybelline, Maybelline Foundation Stick, Foundation Powder. It's just weird. Paris Pro Glow Longwear Foundation, I don't know what that is. It's just really, really, really weird. So I don't know, they're just sort of cutting and copying from somewhere and just putting all the information, not helping themselves. But again, I was willing to try this product out. The other concern I had about this product is that it's from China. So China aren't known for their ethics when they make dupes of products. So, you know, they might make a fake, I don't know, eyeshadow palette of, say, Urban Decay or something. Some of the ingredients in there will be some strange shit. I'm not joking. Don't want to risk it. So I try not to buy fake products if I can. The price might be really, really attractive. I'm just not going to buy it. So I'd rather buy something which has its own name, that is made in the country, rather than saying this is a copy of something else at a cheap price. It's just not worth the risk. So all that said, shall we go ahead and try this foundation? So as I said, I've got it in 2 shades. So I've got it in shade 109 and 1110. And I'm trying to see from the label which one I've got here. All it says is made in China, and it's got all this other stuff in it. So I don't know which one it is. Let me open it up. Okay, this is the one I tried the shade of. So this is what it looks like. Very similar to the Ordinary in packaging. You can see that. It literally is, they just copied the style, didn't they? This one I've got here is shade, this one I've got here is shade 110, 110. I'll show it to you what it looks like on my skin. Yeah, this is the one I tested, so I should be able to do a pump quite easily, she says. Unlock it first. Okay, so that's what shade 110 looks like, and you can see that looks like a pretty good colour for me. 110 or 110. So that's that shade there. So that one's put that there. And then the other one I got was 109. So this looks darker and more red. So this is 109. Let me just double check it. Yeah, it's 109, and they call the shade Mocha. Has got a name, and 110 is called Truffle. Okay, let's have a look and see what 109 is like. Let's give it a shake. Anytime today. Okay, here we go. Right, so that is 109. I could probably get away with both colours, but for today I'm going to put on 110 because you can see that's just dried down into my skin, and my hand colour is very similar to my face colour. So for today I'm using the 110. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so I've already primed my skin before I came on camera. So the primer, I always double prime my skin because I've got oily skin. So what I tend to do, I tend to use just a normal primer, and I put that all over my face. And then because I have got the oily skin, I use my Becca Evermatte Poreless Primer in just these areas up here, so my T-zone and my upper cheeks. So that's been on and that's set, so that's all ready to go. Let's go ahead and use this baby. So we're using a Phoera foundation today. Bought it from Amazon, and you can buy it direct from the website, and I think in America people have been buying it from Wish. I've never looked at the Wish website, but I think it's a website I've heard people talk about. So I'm going to do one side of my face with a sponge and one side of my face with a brush. So let's do the sponge side first. Excuse the beauty blender, I was using it the other day, so it's not too dirty, it's just had one use, but it's dirty. Alright, that's one pump. So initial impressions on just applying it in this area here, looks all right. It looks good. So I will continue. Okay, look, there you go. So I did sort of half a pump up in this top half of my face and a full pump in this bottom half of my face. I've got a big face. Using the sponge, the beauty blender, and that's how it looks. It looks actually all right. Initial impressions, it looks like it's a natural matte finish. It's looking good. So I'll wait for it to dry down. It's still a bit tacky, so I'll let it dry down and I'll do this side with a brush. So let's get a brush. I'm just going to use my NYX multi-purpose brush here. Okay, initially, just using the brush on this side, I would say that I'm liking how the sponge side is looking. Admittedly, I've only just used one pump on this side so far, so let me put a little bit more on, another half a pump on this side, and then see how they compare and how they dry down. Full face done. It feels very light. You can see how easily the product blended out on my face. So far, first impressions, happy with the shade. The shade is good. So this shade I'm wearing is 110, which is Truffle. So that's a shade I'm wearing. It's applied very easily. Looks like it's drying down to a matte finish. It applies well with both sponge and brush, but I would say with my initial impression that I like the sponge finish better than the brush, which is very unusual. You're getting a medium to full coverage with first application with the product. In total, I put about 3 pumps on my face, but I've got a big face. This is the coverage I like. I like medium to full, and this is what I'm getting. So I'm happy with the coverage I'm getting. It feels light, feels comfortable, and as you can see, it is drying down to a, as they described, a soft matte finish. Yeah, this side has dried down nicely. So I'm going to finish up the rest of my face, and then I'll come back to you at the end. So I'm going to do a wear test. So let's give you the time of application now. So time now is, it's actually quite late in the day, I'm afraid. So we're not going to get a long wear test today, I'm afraid. So it's already coming up to 3 o'clock. So I might just do 4 hours wear test and I'll come back inside this room. Hiya, I'm back. So I've been wearing the foundation now for just under 4 hours. What time is it now? It's 6:54. Let me get my clock app up. Okay, so yeah, you can see it's just coming up to the 4 hour mark. The test I gave this foundation today was literally in the kitchen because I was cooking what's called escovitch fish. So it's just like sort of fried fish, so snapper and pollocks. I use both fishes, and then we do like a pickle vegetable, so it's carrots and peppers and all that sort of thing, and onions and scotch bonnet pepper, and you put all over the fish and it adds flavour. Leave that overnight and it just tastes beautiful on Good Friday. Good Friday is literally fish day. So I was doing all of that frying today, so I got very hot and I got very sweaty. Now, so I did have to blot my face off sweat quite a few times. So that was the test the foundation had today. It got tested in heat and humidity and sweat. So let's see how this foundation did. Right, so 4 hour wear test. What I'm looking for is to see if the foundation transfers, how it managed to control the oil, what its performance was like. So how did it apply? How did it blend? Did it melt, fade, separate? Did it oxidize at all? Any other issues that I might have picked up on the foundation. I'm looking at the price of the foundation and I'm looking at the shade range available. So let's go through this. When I do the transfer and the oil, I use my little blotting sheets. What tends to happen is that when I do blotting sheets, particularly with this blotting sheet, this one's not the same as my other one. So if I use about say 3 of these blotting sheets, that'll be okay. If I use more than 3, then that foundation is not going to be so great on managing my oils. And obviously I'll be looking to see how much foundation has transferred. And as I said, I did blot my face a couple of times whilst I was cooking in the kitchen because I was literally dripping with sweat. So there was a lot of transfer when I did it earlier, so that's something to consider. Let's do this. So here's sheet 1. Might not get that much oil now because obviously my face just recently got blotted. Excuse me. So that's sheet 1. So we can see oil and we can see some foundation transfer. I'm surprised there's any foundation left to transfer, to be honest. Right, I'll just do a little bit more. Not going to need much. Okay. I think those 2 sheets will probably be enough. So there's 2 sheets there. You've got oil and foundation on there. But again, let's consider the fact that, as I said, in the kitchen, I got very oily, I got very sweaty, and as I was blotting my face down with kitchen paper, kitchen towels, there was a lot of foundation and oil that came off. So with that considered, and what I've got here, in the 4 hours, I would say the transfer is not great. It's gonna transfer as soon as the oil start coming through. You're gonna get transfer. So for that, it's just gonna get an average score of 5 out of 10 because it does transfer. Oil control, I'd say it's better than average, than sort of the average foundation which is out there. Not brilliant, but it's better than average because it did control oils for a little bit until I got into the kitchen. So 2 hours in. 2 hours in, I wasn't getting much oil, and as soon as I started frying, that was it. All bets were off. So I would say for oil control, I'll give this say a 6.5 out of 10 because it was a little bit better than average, but I've got very oily skin and it really didn't stand a chance after that once I started cooking. Performance, well, it applied very easily. There was no problems in how the foundation applied. It blended out very easily, worked very well with a sponge, and it works well with a brush. I would say that the sponge gave a nicer, more flawless coverage, and with the brush it gave a good coverage as well. The coverage was medium to full, so more than happy with the coverage that I've got with this, and it seems like it's buildable as well. It felt very comfortable, honest, doesn't feel heavy, not like sort of Estee Lauder Double Wear or the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. Doesn't feel heavy, so you can build up to, I'd say, to a decent coverage. But I would say it's definitely more medium to full. It seems to work well with other products, so I applied my blush over it, applied my highlighter all over it, no problems at all. I put my concealer on over the foundation afterwards, and what I noticed when I was in the kitchen in the midst of all that heat, the concealer, the under eye concealer I used under my eyes and sort of down here, down my nose and so on, it really stood out. So I don't know if that was because I didn't blend it properly. I don't know if it was the powder. So I'm not quite sure what that was. So I might have to play with this foundation a little bit more. But I'd say for performance, it did fine. I haven't got any complaints about it. As an everyday foundation, I think it did all right. A little bit of fading along here now, but again, as I said, I was blotting my face inside the kitchen. So I think, no, for performance wise, it's not bad. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It did all right, Price. Right, well, I paid £3.50 for it. That's got to be the cheapest foundation I have ever purchased in my life. And that's including back in the day when I used to buy cheap, nasty stuff from Woolworths. For those of you who are too young to know what Woolworths is, sorry. Those of us who are older, we know who Woolworths are, and you could buy really cheap stuff from back in the day back then. Might not be able to get the foundation colour that I wanted, but I used to try. I used to try and mix up my own little concoction of foundations and I used to put eyeshadow powders and things to try and get my colour. It's a long story. But yes, I don't think I got anything for £3 back then either. And we're talking back in the 70s and 80s here. So £3.50, that is really cheap. It sounds like, to me, it appears like they're trying to go for the ordinary audience. So that's the target audience they're kind of going for there. Because the ordinary foundation is what, £5-6, is it? It's not that expensive either. This comes in cheaper than that if you buy it from Amazon or from Wish. If you buy it from their website, it is more expensive. So I think for price, it's a 10 out of 10. It's dirt cheap, really, really cheap. Shade range. Now, if I remember correctly, there's only 10 shades. I got the two darkest shades. I got 109 and 110, so 110 and 109. And the shades start off with, I think it starts off at 100 and it's 101 to etc to 110. So there's only 10 shades available. So the shade range isn't brilliant, but they've tried to cover a range of colours. Obviously, if you're a deeper skin tone than me, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get anything darker than that. And I'm not sure how light the 101 is. When I looked on YouTube to see what they were, I would say 101 was equivalent to a good alabaster kind of colour. So that kind of porcelain shades I've seen people wear. I'm not sure, but I mean 101 is very pale. Sorry about that, my chest is starting to build up now. So I think on the shade range, it's good, but it's not brilliant. It's all right for a cheap foundation for what you can get, yeah. So overall, if you just want a cheap foundation and you want to risk it, you want to try it, it's worthwhile, you know, depending on what your budget's like. And if you're willing to wait sort of 2 weeks to a month, then give it a go. See what you think about it. Yeah, the only things I would think about, on the bottle, it does say that it's cruelty free. I can't see now because it's getting quite dark. But yeah, they say that they are cruelty free. So I don't know if you can see the little thing there. I'm not sure about that because, as I've said, it's made in China and China is not known to be a cruelty-free country. Any foundations that are sold in China, they have to be tested on animals. So I don't know if this is not sold in China, but I can't imagine that to be the case, can you? I don't know. So I would think twice if that's really important to you about it being cruelty-free. I would think twice about that. I don't know if it's vegan or not. Again, don't know, so can't say anything about it cruelty free, can't say anything about the vegan, but I can say that it's darn cheap. But let me know what you think. I mean, this is how the foundation looks now. As I said, it looks alright for a bit of a wear test. I mean, considering it's only 4 hours, but I have given it an extreme test. I think it's done alright. I am going to leave you. Let me know what you think down below about this. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are and if you're willing to go out and try it. If you're going to get it, let us know. And if you have tried it, again, let everybody else know as well. So it's nice to share the information amongst each other so we know how we've got on with it, and to give other people some tips and stuff as well. All right, yeah? All right, thanks very much for watching. I will be back with a couple more videos over this Easter weekend. So, if you haven't subscribed as yet, and if you haven't pressed your bell, this will be a time to do it, because you don't want to miss out on the videos I've got coming up. Got some new boxes coming up. All right, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.